Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now we switch to English as we have two guests from abroad, and I think we do not have problems in communication in English. Well, we will see anyway. And we will start the panel, which has a very smart, I would say, title: Clusters as creators of new business models considering inclusiveness and gender equality. I think it's a very important issue because yesterday we spoke about many issues that raise the competitiveness of the companies. We spoke about the digitalization, about the green transformation, and I think there is one more very important subject that should be raised alongside the competitiveness, the innovation, and it is about the gender equalities and inclusiveness. And this is the goal of this panel, to convince clusters that are today with us that they can be leaders of change, and they can be a very good translator to companies, how those issues can be implemented in companies, because I observe that many small, medium enterprises understand that multicultural teams are more innovative, more creative, but somehow they do not have good examples. They do not know how to implement those issues in their companies. So this panel is about the good practices, about the experiences, and that's why we have quite a lot of guests. But firstly, I would like to ask honorary doctor, Mr. Anders Olsson, manager smart specialization at Region Värmland and debuting project leader, coordinator, to make a short introduction, short but very comprehensive, a lot of good examples. So, Anders, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much, and I'm very pleased to be here in Gdansk, listening to the very interesting progress of Polish clusters, and I say I'm very impressed and very happy to being able to be here learning so much from you. And the cluster agenda at national policy in Sweden is not as high as it is here in Poland, I can say. So you are fortunate in that way. But the short presentation today from my side is about clusters driving gender integration for competitiveness, innovation, and sustainability. So let's see if the clicker works. Shall I point in some special direction? No? Or is this upside down? Yeah. Yeah. So, where on earth is my region, the region Värmland? It happens to be on the middle of the earth, but that goes for everyone, I think, when it's a globe. It's in Sweden, but it's on the Norwegian border between the two Scandinavian capital cities, Oslo and Stockholm. And what does it look like? Yes, it's a rural region, but also with a central city. We are 283,000 inhabitants on 18,000 square kilometers. It's slightly smaller than the land area of Israel or Slovenia. 75% is covered by forest. The strongest industry is the forest industry, and that comes both to machinery and the pulp and paper mills and sawmills. And we have strong clusters. We have been working with clusters for soon 25 years in the region. And I think we are one of the strongest cluster regions of Sweden. We have one university that is closely related to the clusters on research and education and training. And we have the big challenge, as many of us, we have a gender divided labor market, and that's why I'm talking here today. how we can meet that. And some facts and figures on that. 87% of the CEOs in the companies are men. In the boards, it's 81% of male board members. Women earn in average 5,500 euros less per year than men. And we are moving in the right direction, but in this pace, it will take 31 years more until we have equal economics between women and men. We have the opportunity to have parental leave when we have children, and the men uses only 30% of the days, while the women uses 70% of those days. And the fact is that the men's educational level is lower than women. Only 30% of men have higher educational level, while women have more than 50% of the women have that in educational level. So conclusion is also that we have a huge untapped potential of well-educated women for the industry. Now to the project we have in common with the Pomorsky region is the debuting project within the Interreg Europe program, where we develop business through inclusiveness and gender awareness, and it also introduces new cluster competencies that you have to gain in order to work with this area. So these are the partners. We happen to be the lead partner. We have University as the advisory and knowledge partner, and you see the Pomorsky region is one of the 10 regions that are cooperating in this issue. So what we do, it's about the SMEs to understand the business rationale between this logic. We are working with how to build capacity for SMEs to develop these gender inclusive business models. And we also work at the policy level where regions are, how we implement measures to SMEs and develop the different programs and agendas, etc. So this is our smart specialization strategy in one slide for Värmland, and I will say it's also very much a cluster strategy, because we have each of the smart specializations here are devoted for one on each of the clusters. So for instance, the forest-based bioeconomy is run by the paper province cluster. The advanced manufacturing smart specialization is run by the steel and engineering cluster, etc. And we also have introduced a number of perspectives in this strategy that we think will promote the smart specializations. We have introduction of a circular economy, digitalization, and also gender integration. And we have also pointed at different organizations, and in this case, it's we ourselves, Region Värmland, that are the knowledge provider and process driver for this area on gender integration. So why have we chosen to work with gender in smart specialization? Yeah, we got to know from the European Commission, the JRC, that if we made a gender integrated smart specialization strategy, we would be the first region in Europe to do that. So yes, of course, we wanted to do that. And that we did in 2014, and now we have the second smart specialization strategy. And why? Yeah, because we know it's very good for innovation, for developing competitiveness in the businesses, and it also meets a big societal challenge where half of the population is underutilized for competitiveness and innovation. And some figures here in the forest-based bioeconomy, we have 86% men and only 14% women. And the same goes more or less for the manufacturing industry. So some of the other smart specializations have a better equality when it comes to the gender and equality numbers. But given this situation, we do a lot of things, and I can't even tell you about the fraction about what we're doing. But I think Carolina, that has been in our region, can also say that we are doing a lot of things. But the pace is too low. It goes too slow. We have done a lot of things, but we don't have got the clue. But I think we have seen some signs on that things could turn and be much better in a quite short time. This photo is only 2 weeks ago, where we had the diploma training for the inequality for the employees in the cluster organizations. Also, that's people like you, I guess, very much, that have been trained in this area, dealing with questions as how can I, as an employee, be involved in creating an equal and inclusive work environment where everyone can thrive. So a number of such questions they have worked with and processed. So it's very much a personal development in this area also. And that it's building a very good working culture on the workplaces by the clusters. And the idea is that this should be spread to the member companies. So we also offer training for the top management of cluster member companies, which is about, and the question is, what do we gain from working actively with gender equality? And these managers, they work with the question as how do we develop the businesses, the business benefits? What impact does it have on competitiveness? The quality aspects in production, and also the community benefits for where the company acts. And also there are health aspects on these issues. And this, as the last, a very practical hands-on example, we have the Moelven company. They are in the forest industries with sawmills, house building, etc. I think we saw an early sign here that this is perhaps the first company that is at the tipping point in pacing up the speed to attracting women in the industry. And this happened in May this year, where the CEO Peter Broberg, a man, said we had expected maximum 30 people, women, to turn up. If it's less than 10, we will cancel. And what happened? 180 women turned up to this meeting. So they have to have a crisis meeting, not in a negative sense, but how do we handle this situation? And it's also important to have role models. Here you have Lina Magnusson. She is the district manager at the Moelven Forest Company. And what did they talk about? They present women in many different roles. Because to showing the participants on this meeting, on this event, you can be a woman and work in different roles in the company. They talked about working conditions, not so much about salaries. They told them that we have changing rooms for women, we have workloads adapted for women. They also highlight women in internal and external communication. I looked at their website, and this was on their first side. When you search for Moelven company, you can check that yourself if you want. They also internally challenge managers to hire women in other roles than usual. And the management team, they also got training in this equal business development training program that I told about just some minutes ago. So they worked with standards, inclusive culture, which also resulted in more women being offered leading roles in Moelven company. So attracting and remember that retaining, keeping the women and working with diversity, that's a big value for the employers and the employees. So thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anders. Please sit here with us for the panel. Yes, please take your seat. And I would like to ask other panelists, Jarosław Parzuchowski. Jarek, please. Jarek is the president of the management board in the Interhorizon Foundation and also Klaster, our key cluster, national key cluster. Małgorzata Wokacz-Zaborowska, managing director, Pomeranian Chamber of Crafts, small medium enterprises. And Krystyna Šermukšnytė-Alešiūnienė. Yeah, I know I made a mistake, but you are so kind, you know. And Professor Natasza Kosakowska-Berezecka, and Krystyna is cluster manager of Agri-Food Lithuania. I'm really glad that you joined us, and we will have international discussion and examples. Professor Natasza Kosakowska-Berezecka, Department of Cross-Cultural and Kind Psychology at the Institute of Psychology, University of Gdańsk. And Karolina Korczyńska, Startup Development Specialist, Gdańsk Entrepreneurship Foundation, Incubator Starter. Okay, thank you very much. That was very inspiring presentation, a lot of good examples. However, still numbers are not very equal, I would say, but we will return to this later on. I would like firstly ask Jarek Parzuchowski, Jarek, because we know each other for so many years, and you are in the process of smart specializations and cluster policy in Pomorskie region from the very beginning. How is your perception of the gender equalities, especially in the IT sector, which is, I would say, dominated by men? And how you think it could be changed?
Yes, thank you, Karolina. It's a pleasure to be here today with you. As you said, I represent the Interhorizon ICT cluster. We are located here. We are running our cluster job more than 13 years, so it's a quite long perspective. I think that the ICT sector, the IT sector, is a quite good example of how things can change in a very short time, because, for example, 10 years ago, when you were thinking about an IT team or an engineer programmer, you thought, oh, a group of guys sitting in a dark room and programming and making some stuff. But today we see that teams are very diverse. We have a lot of great girls, great women, which are great also technical workers or employees. For example, when I was studying on our technical university, in our groups there were girls, and what I remember that guys often wait till the end, for example, to bring some project. Girls were quite good at making things in a more precise way. So, and often right now we see that in the IT sector, what is really important are those competences, as we saw in your presentation. It's not about gender, how we look, what color of skin do we have, but what are your competences? What can you done? So right now, I think that more and more women are coming to the IT branch. Also, as a cluster, we are trying to support initiatives that can support girls or women on the tech university to go to the IT branch. So right now, I think there is no problem with the competences. The problem is to spread the news, spread the word that the IT sector can be a good place for your future career as a woman.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there is a lot of space for the synergy of talents, and but somehow I think it's easier to make those changes in trendy sectors. IT is running very fast, and I would say every half of a year we have a new technology, new phone or iPhone or something. So this is a kind of speed, I would say. But Małgosia, I would like to ask you, because as I said, it's maybe easier to say about the gender equality, about the inclusiveness within the very innovative sectors, but what about the traditional sectors? You are representing handicraft, crafts. It's how it is, how your companies that you are meeting every day, being a director of the office, how they understand the gender equalities.
Thank you, Carolina. First of all, thank you for inviting me to this discussion and to be one of the supporting partners of the debuting project, which is a very relevant, valuable also for us in a craft sector. Crafts, you say about the traditional crafts, but you need to know that today we talk about the tradition and modernity in crafts. It's not only the professions that you may relate to crafts, like very traditional, but there are over 130 professions in the crafts. So we have professions like traditionally dominated by male, like for example in the construction sector or automotive sector. There are also sectors dominated by female, like hairdressing or florists or beauty sector as general. And we talk about this tradition and innovation because there are a lot of companies that are very innovative, because you combine the traditional like handcraft work with CNC machines and modern IT technologies. What is very important, the core element of the small and medium enterprises sector and craft sector is that these are family businesses, and that is a kind of a model. They are like self-employed entrepreneurs, small and medium, and this determines a lot the way they work, like day-to-day operations. We have multi-generational enterprises, like for example working with children, grandchildren. And if you talk about equality issue, gender equality issue in crafts, I need to tell you that this is a big issue. It's maybe not on the public discourse right now, but behind the scenes we talk a lot about it. Because in these family businesses, it's often the model is that the owner, a CEO, is a male, but there is usually one or many women around him that do, you know, a lot of operational activities. And I would also say that sometimes, or even I would say often, it is so that there is a male owner, a boss, but there is always a wife or a daughter or a sister and that's the person who's wearing the trousers, yes? But they rather stay in a shadow. That's like the comfort zone. They don't like to be put in a first place. What they say is because they prefer to have peace in mind, peace at home, because it's family business. What we're trying to do, we're trying to reach out to these women and empower them, convince them that they are also a business women, not only like, you know, just co-workers. What we are also see in these family businesses, new generations coming, and there is a hope. Because the children who are starting to work with their parents, some of them just don't want to work in such a model. Some want to expect changes. Some just say, no, I don't want, because, you know, they have been observing all their lives the hard work, like from Monday to Sunday even, like 12 hours a day, hard working. They don't want it. It's the Z generation. It's a different topic. We face the problem with succession on one hand, because they don't want to work in this model, they want something different. But there is also this hope that they will bring this change, because more and more of these businesses are more open to change, to adapt to the current trends and situation. And that's what we see. The other thing is good career counseling, so that we may talk in schools, in grammar schools, and to encourage young people, both girls and boys, to choose the path, the career that they want to, not determined by their parents, by these businesses.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, I would like to switch to Christina. You represent agri-food sector. I'm wondering how it is organized in Lithuania, and if you have any projects concerning gender equality, or maybe you do not need such projects.
Of course you do. First of all, I would like to express my huge gratitude for inviting me today. Big thank you, and it is an honor to be at the Clusters Congress here in Poland. I should just say we need to collaborate even more. I think we're not collaborating enough, Lithuanian and the Polish clusters, but I hope it's gonna
We are so
be
close.
Yeah,
Marek said,
exactly.
Marek Szor, yes.
Yeah, we were talking, we have 5 flights a day going
Yeah.
Vilnius-Warsaw. So, okay, but coming back to the gender. So I would like to start with myself. I come from, I have a background in ICT, very strong background, and then I'm working in the agri-food. Both of those sectors, they are really men-dominated, and it is true. But when we talk about the gender equality, I just would like to mention a couple of things. And this is the research that has been done in EU. We all are facing the problem of the depopulation in the regions, right? So we talk about a lot what should be done, what kind of projects, initiatives to have more organizations, startups, young people coming to the regions. And research has showed that in order to revive the regions, we really need to bring back women and youth. So two facts. This is, I'm not making up, these are made by the researchers. Okay, so let's follow the next step. When we talk about gender equality, I would like to underline that we need to understand we're not talking that some gender is better, women or men, or that one are doing something better, or women know some more skills than men. No. We are talking about encouragement and empowerment. Why I'm saying this? There is another research done. For example, if there is the advertising for the high role, to take the high role in some business organization, right? So men would apply if they fit only 30% of the requirements. Women would not apply even though they fit 70% of the requirements. So what we are talking in our nature overall, women are modest and women go ahead only then when they feel very strong about their position. So it's not only about the skills we're talking again, what I'm saying about the empowerment and encouragement. What we are doing in Lithuania with the Agri-Food Lithuania, we've been working now for 3 years with the different initiatives for the empowerment, first of all, young women, and then just any woman who wants to be in the business. So we have different platforms. One of the platforms, just an example, and our cluster is a front runner there. We are cooperating with EET Food because we represent EET Food in Lithuania. And we have each year this program, which is called Empowering Women in Agri-Food Sector. For the half of the year, we invite women just to apply, and we pick 10 of them. So they can develop the product, the startup, the idea, just anything they want. The only requirement is that they would not have business more than for 2 years. So anything else fits. So we would get applications, somebody comes with just an idea. Somebody comes already with some kind of product. And what we have noticed through this experience, that in 6 months, women are doing amazing things. There is statistics that 90% of the startups fail. And here, out of those 10 women in 3 years, half of the women are building business and going further. And especially I have the examples. For example, this lady came, she had just the idea of what she would like maybe do by the end of the program. She even didn't win anything. But now 1 year has passed. Her product is being sold at the Air Baltics airplanes as a healthy drink. So what it means, they get this encouragement, they get this empowerment, and they say, if not your program, if not the mentors who said you can do it, I would never ever started something like this. So we act as a platform, as a sandbox, whatever you call it, just, to start. When you meet the mentors who are saying, do not worry, you have all these opportunities to test yourself. You won't be going into deep depths. Nobody's gonna be laughing at you, so you get all those opportunities. Again, we work a lot with them, encouraging youth, doing different hackathons. And usually it's not concentrated just for the women, but we would apply like a special prize, like for the women team or a product developed by women. So again, it's through encouragement and empowerment. So this is for the beginning.
Thank you very much. And I would now would like to ask Natasza, or maybe first, because we were speaking a lot about inclusiveness, gender equalities in Pomorskiej region, also according to this debuting project, because we are creating a group, a local group that will be also developing and implementing concrete projects. But you said something which might be controversial somehow. You said, Carolina, it's time to get up from your knees, Can you explain it a little more?
Of course. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I think that's a wonderful job you're doing in bringing science to clusters. And I think it's a really good marriage that we are kind of, compiling here. But first of all, if I could refer to the study you were mentioning, I think it links with this, raise up from your knees. You were mentioning the study about men who are actually applying for a job if they feel they have only 30% qualifications there. So you know what gender quota does, and we did research about it. It turns out, because if you're a man who is applying for a job and has only 30% qualified, you are attracting pretty mediocre men and not that qualified, right? So one of the studies showed that actually if you're preventing gender quota, as a result you are also attracting qualified women and more qualified men. So it works both. And I want to grab it was brilliant what you said about, amazing job that you do, but you also used the word support and supporting women. I'm just thinking that maybe now it's time to attract women more. And also when you think about job advertisements, and there are also lots of cool studies showing that if you really work hard on your job advertisement, for example, sending signals, yes, in this IT geek world, there is a wonderful space that is communal, and when you're doing a geek job, you can also be communal, not only like very much focused on, on your computer, then women do apply more. So it's also our job as advertisers to create the little signal cue. Come, join us. We are tempting you to join us. Not that we, somebody tells us, because we know that you should be attracted to join this industry. So coming back to your great question, I've been studying gender equality for past 20 years, and we're looking for different cues that make women and men more willing to support gender equality. And this is going to be a moment of national pride. Everybody, those of you who identify as Polish, now you're going to be proud of your country. Because when you look at different OECD results and European Union results, they do kind of monitor gender equality gap and gender pay gap. And it turns out in terms of Poland, we have one of the lowest in Europe and among OECD countries. So in terms of OECD countries, our gender pay gap is 10%, the average there is 16%. Take EU results. So here the average is 13%, and now knows what's the gender pay gap in Poland? 13% is EU. Do you know what's the gender pay gap in Poland? Of course, it's very generalized. Anyone else? 4.5. Not bad, huh? So this is us. Third thing, and this is going to be my pride as a scientist, when you look at different Nature and Communications rankings, this is what they calculate, is how many women are publishing papers. So we as scientists were publishing papers. So what's the proportion of women publishing and male publishing? And it turns out that this part of the world, Poland, we have 3 universities in the top 10, and University of Gdańsk is one of them, our hometown. So now it's a national pride, but also Pomeranian pride that I hope I'm triggering. And simply women are publishing, and 56% of people who are publishing are women, right? And if you take into consideration this region. And finally, if you think about Pomerania and University of Gdańsk, we are the first in Poland in terms of implementing gender equality tools and measures. So for example, I am the head of the division of cross-cultural and gender psychology, and each year we have 20 graduates who are actually trained to help support teams, organizations in being more inclusive and diversity-oriented. And we are 13th in the world. So there is this Times Higher Education ranking, and University of Gdańsk is 13th in terms of efficiency in implementing gender equality. So I hope that this pride is there with you. And it's not achieved by, actions of women, it's achieved by actions together, men and women, who feel that gender equality is a common cause. So I'm saying it's not about supporting women, it's making everybody understand that gender equality is for us all. It's about innovation, and I really loved when you said this metaphor of the lost chances and talents, right? This is it. If you are not using the half of the population talent, it's just very naive not to use it, right?
May I, in a moment, because I said that we are trying to support, but maybe the right word is, as you said, we try to attract, that the IT sector is good both for women and men. This year we started a pilot project called Womanize IT. Also Karolina was engaged in it. And the idea was to show some case studies of successful women in the IT sector. And we were very surprised by the number of our participants in the project, because we thought, oh, maybe 30, 40 people will join our meetings, and we had more than 200 women interested in the case studies of how their a little bit older colleagues managed to be successful in the IT. So
Now let's invite Ben to this meeting, right? So that would be
yeah,
Definitely, definitely.
thank you.
Okay, Carolina, yeah, I mean, you were cooperating, you mentioned this Womanize IT. I hope there will be possibility to speak a little bit about this project, but I would like to return to the institution you represent, Incubator Starter, which is playing very important role as a communicating channel, I would say, to the small, medium enterprises, also startups. And I think the project Women Also Build Ships is a kind of hit, you know, in Poland. Could you tell us a little bit more about the role of incubator in inclusiveness, in gender equalities?
First of all, I'm very happy. Thank you for your invitation, and I'm very happy that we have a very strong female team on this panel. Yeah, you are right. Women Build Ships 2 was very big success. Project aimed to empower women working at maritime sector. The core of this program was to create a monitoring program, included workshops, meetings with potential employers, with another woman working in maritime or logistics sector. And the main goal of this program was to show potential of women because women are also good in these sectors, and as you said before, women have another way on different issues, and I guess this is very important to support women in these sectors or similar. Now we are starting with another woman project named Woman Can See, in Polish Kobieta Może w Morze, aimed to create a space for women working also in maritime and logistic. This is space we want to create space because we want to support women and I'm sorry, I'm working in Starter, been 1 month, so
No worries, you know everything, I'm sure.
That's a big project.
Yeah, absolutely. Maritime, maybe women in this sector have a lot of challenges, what my colleagues said before. Maritime industry is dominated by men, and there are a few women, especially in manager staff. So this is a big problem. They have bigger problem with promotion. They have lower salaries. And I think by implementing such a project, we can promote women. We can show that women are also good and their achievements are so good as men. And I'm thinking that this is a hope for change our thinking about typical thinking about it.
Okay, one more question to you both, to Natasza and you, Karolina, because you said that there is still a gap in salaries, and Natasza said we are having the lowest gap. Yes, so where is the truth? You know, there are statistics and there is a reality. So there is the difference between statistics and the reality.
No, it's not. It's just like when you put the angle at, right, generalized, industries, then you have also some industries where there are majority women, where women are entrepreneurs, then they do pay themselves well. So in a way, what it's really guiding the cool results about Polish sample is that we have preponderance of female entrepreneurship, which is also helping to reduce the gender pay gap. But then when you have a really eagle eye on, for example, maritime industries or like wider STEM brands, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, then the gender gap is, going higher. But still, on average, we're doing better than other countries.
So with traditional sectors, still a lot of work to do.
Lots of work to do. I don't know if you agree with me in that.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. I think, Anders, I would like to one more ask you a question, because you mentioned that you are working with smart specializations a lot and also considering inclusiveness and equal opportunities. So why the numbers are still like they are? I mean, this is after 10 years of your work, or so? What to avoid? Where is the trap, I would say, here?
I think we are a little bit have a clue now when we look at the companies, how they attract women in this case in a better way, but also when the women come there, they should also feel that they are welcome, and it's a working culture that also can attract them. But I think we have to train the management teams, and we started with the cluster teams as well, so they can spread the word and be role models themselves as well. but I think we also have to start very, very early and make it in a very structured way from the kindergarten and upwards, and also supporting women to go on more male traditionally branches, and vice versa as well. So we have one experiment in one of the smart specializations where a female-dominated branch meets a male-dominated branch, and the name is digital health innovation, where the ICT sector meets the health and care sector. And our hope is that there will be nurses that will be encouraged to be ICT technicians, and ICT technology people going into the health care sector as well. So, but that's just a small example.
Yeah.
And there are a number of things to do. For instance, going from selling products that hurts if you drop them on the foot to be more of a service-oriented business that sells the services, but that includes the hardware also. What happens then in the companies? You have the more focus on the customer, on the value creation, and there, quite often women are better skilled and also are better attracted to such companies. And also there is a need for another culture within such companies.
But one comment, yes, please.
Because I was thinking about this vice versa you said, so that we are like kind of empowering women to get into the male-dominated spheres, and now this vice versa, so attracting men to come to more communal health sector branches is also a very important goal for us all. And you probably know that there is this really strong correlation between women having children and men having children. So the more children have women, then the less they're visible in the labor market, and then the more children men have, the more visible they're in the labor market, and they're more visible. So also the gender equality actions are about, for example, making space at home for men, right? So men on parental leaves, and there are lots of interesting analysis showing that you can reduce gender pay gap if you make more men taking parental leave. So again, the gender equality is like, double-edged sword. It's like attracting women, but also focusing on men.
Yeah, exactly. I think the most important thing, for example, what I admire what you've done in your region is that you spread the knowledge. And you said also about encouraging and empowering. And I think this is about the equality, that everybody has the same knowledge and can finally decide if it is for her or for him, you know, and or I would like to be a CEO or not, or I would like to do anything else, yes? And I think this is the work you've done, and this is really what we are starting to do right now in Pomorskiej, especially concerning the smart specialization, because I think it was also nobody, I hope, in this room has no doubts that we are speaking about the businesses actually and the raising the competitiveness. Yes, so this is that in especially in represented sectors, like for example IT, like maritime sector, like energy, for example the offshore. Yes, also what I showed you yesterday, the Edu offshore wind. Yes, there is still a space for a lot of work and a lot of talented people, both men and women. Yes, and we are speaking about the situation that everybody has an equal possibility to be what he or she wants to be. Yes, so I think it is also important to say it clearly, because sometimes the people are asking me, and I said and try to express how I understand the subject. I would like to return to Małgosiu. I would like to ask you, because you are also a vice chairwoman of the Women's Council established by the Marshal Office of the Pomeranian Voivodeship. What is the role of the council, and what are actual activities that you are doing?
Thank you, Karolina. This council, Pomeranian Council on Women Issues, is a kind of a new body established by the Marshal in the Marshal Office. And we've been operating for almost 3 years right now. Natasza is also a member. And its main goal is, first of all, because it's first term of this council, is to gather data to analyze the situation of women in our region, because we do not have data like in all aspects of women's life. So we are trying to gather data by the help of the Pomeranian Labor Office. There is a report going on. We should see the first results and recommendations, I think soon, even in this month. And so gather data just to have the, you know, this basis information that we could share for first of all with the board of the regional government, and to do two things. First, to recommend the board of the Pomeranian Marshal Office to do recommendations in which aspects of women, because we look into different various areas, like not only job but also education, inclusiveness, and social services or health, and to do recommendations in which aspects we need to take some more actions, to put some more attention, to empower women, to do the whole thing that is related to the raising awareness. And on the other hand, we are trying to reach out to women leaders that are operating locally, to do the networking, not only in like a tree city, but also in small towns, in villages, to again do this raising awareness action, to empower them, to support them, to attract them, to be more active, yes, and do both ways, so the bottom up and from the top to down, because if we have this support from the Marshal Office, it's much easier to take actions on various levels. So that's first of all our job.
Okay, Jarek, you are doing a lot of international projects, especially from Horizon program, but also from the ones that Marek, you showed on the slide. is it important issue from the perspective or receiving the money from the EU that you include such inclusiveness?
Yes, right now, from yesterday, we have also a Euro cluster meeting here during the Congress. So yes, we are trying to build those kind of network of cooperations. And yes, many of us are applying for EU projects, both on the national level or the European level. And we all know that the gender equality is an important part of the application form. And to be honest, I have to say that this year, one of our projects in Interreg program failed. Not because the idea of the project was poor, but the results that came told us that you should focus more on showing the gender equality in the project. The project is good. Maybe you can rewrite it, but this is a very important issue. So I think that many things are in our mindsets when we are working in international projects, when we meet each other, exchange knowledge. I think that it also this is building some network of cooperation, sharing knowledge, sharing our thoughts, and this is very for me very important to see how people from other countries are thinking of different aspects, different topics. So in our projects, I think that the teams are more members of the teams are women. So we are here, I think, on the right track. But regarding your question, I was thinking during our discussion about two things, because we are talking about that we should start from kindergarten. And I fully agree. As a father of daughter and a son, 5 and 2, I see that I and my friends are trying to raise kids in the spirit of you can be whatever you want. One day this is an astronaut, the second day it's a doctor, hairdresser. But we are encouraging, we are trying to show the possibilities. So I'm not worried about the future generation. As Anders said, we need to speed up those processes. And I think that the clue is in our generation, because we are responsible right now for the current situation. Okay, we can teach our children to be tolerant, to not to care if you are hiring women or men. The competences are important, but what about our generation? How can we change our mindsets? To be honest, often I think that in some situations I have to change mindset, the words, not support, but attract, yeah? so we should try to change ourselves in some kind of way.
Anders, you would like to comment?
Yeah, the last meeting in the debuting project in Strasbourg, we visited the European Parliament, and that's a dome for the democracy of Europe, and it was very touching. But also the discussions we have with the 10 regions from every corner of Europe, where we are talking about quite personal things that touches us as individuals. I think we are at the core of at the heart of the cohesion policy for the European Union, talking about these issues. The cohesion policies that has failed in many ways the last years when the areas the regions and countries are going in different directions. So I think this is really central. So it's not just about women and men. It's even bigger.
Yes, exactly. This is also about the interpersonal relations. What was what was said here in different panels and underlined, yes, as an important issue. Christina, I wanted to ask you because you said you are also a part of many international projects, and And also, as I asked Jarek, there's an obligation to prepare a gender equality plan. And do you have any good examples or practices? Because in Poland it's not so very popular still.
It is popular, very much so. Thank you for the question. Sometimes I tell my team, okay, well, maybe we are missing some men in our project. So in this case, I think we are really moving forward, but I would like just to elaborate a little bit on what has been said already about raising awareness. I think it's very, very important in the society, because still we can talk a lot about, like, one thing, women are very modest, so we cannot force them to come to the high levels or take certain positions, but in order for them to apply for such positions, to come to be attracted, we need also to change the mindset that engineering, STEM, it's for girls and they can apply. Because, well, my son, he is 9 years old. He just started to go to the private school with the engineering and STEM priorities. And in his class, there are 20 boys and 2 girls. And this just shows the understanding that it's not for girls. The engineering, the hard part, the ICT sector, it's not. And in the agri-food sector, it is the same. We have right now this project in Lithuania. It's from UK. It's called Grass Sealing, Empowering Women Farmers. And you know, we were looking all over Europe from different 19 member states to find those use cases, examples, women farmers who would present themselves and show, and
Like
would
mentors.
Exactly, like mentors, but they would be willing, you know, to come up front and say, okay, I'm doing this, I want to learn more. It was a challenge, a huge challenge. When you were looking, we needed to find like 10 women of each of the countries, 19 member states, and to find farmers, women who would be willing to come up front. It was a huge challenge, so we worked very hard. Now we have very nice use cases. We are working with mentors, and we are hoping they're gonna be those ambassadors. They're gonna become the ambassadors, that even farmer that usually, you know, you would not expect to be a woman can show good examples how gender equality is provided. One more thing, we've been talking in Lithuania, because actually in Lithuania we have many movements for empowering women. So we have this Women Go Tech. That's for the women who are working in totally different sectors, not in the tech sector, just to come, get the mentor, and then decide whether they want, for example, to change their career. And I personally, I've been mentor for a couple of years, and I've seen at least 5 women coming from social sectors, and they're going to programming, to engineering. That's amazing. I think, yeah, these are just very good examples. Then we have this initiative made by the Association of Women Leaders in Lithuania. They have this platform. It's called Women for the Board. So you can actually go and see the candidates of the women who could be invited to join different boards when there is like opportunities or similar like that. But on the other hand, we've been talking, if we are saying that women are taking those leader roles, coming up front, becoming front runners, right? Still family and children would come as a priority for the women. That's in our nature, that's in the blood. So again, in the society, we need to raise the question then, will we be willing to provide another type of services that the woman would not get overburned after different tasks, handling the family and leadership and things like this. And it's still a silent mode, very silent mode, but we already have had some sad use cases when it's just too much of everything. So it's again, with the new leaderships come new ways of different services provided by the society and understanding how it should be.
Yes, thank you very much. Very interesting thoughts. I think we will be finishing slowly, but before that, I would like to ask you all a final question with short answers, please, because it is. I hope it will be the inspiration for our guests here in the room. And I would like to ask you about the business benefits resulting from inclusiveness, flexibility of in employment, and multicultural teams. Anders, you are first, because you are the best prepared, having in mind your experiences.
In a way, I have delivered in my presentation, but I'm also thinking of another company in Värmland, the Volvo construction equipment company producing heavy wheel loaders. They have set very specific targets on increasing the part of women in their workforce, and they work with the production teams very aware in a very conscious way to understand diversity. You have a pink dress here, but what is your background?
Because I would like to be visible.
Yeah, that's very good. That's a very good argument.
Because not
so blue hair.
you can also use pink, you know.
Yeah, I would
It's
love
sexy.
to. Yeah, I would love to. But yeah, promise. If you invite me next year, I will come in the pink dress. Absolutely. But to understand the things behind the person that appears, and that's what they work with in their production teams, to meet as individuals on a more deeper and more diverse way. And I think that they have to cooperate, and also when there are critical situations in the production process, so they have to trust each other and regarding on if they have a tattoo or what their outfit is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jarek. Business benefits.
I would say that those things that you mentioned lead us to be more open-minded. I would say that this is a thing that is very important for me, because if you work in a multicultural environment, you see how other people think of different things, and it can lead you to a more open-minded mind, and that can be a really big benefit for the company in many ways. We don't have.
And then you can choose the most effective one.
Yeah.
And
people are also more open to each other, and we can talk very honest. For example, let's change this process. I think I know what is your thoughts, but maybe we can do it in another way. Let's think about it.
mm-hmm. Okay, Małgorzata.
Well, many benefits for business, for sure. But if I am to choose one, I would focus on this perspective, that's building inclusive environment in a workplace. These models, it's a very good investment for the future, because you show the future generations that are to come that there is a place like for everybody. And this is of great importance because for young people to see that there is a chance to have a full career in such an environment. And we are facing huge problems on the labor market right now, so we need to have this in mind in a long perspective and also in a near perspective.
Yeah, you feel accepted, yes? I mean, as you are. Okay, Christina?
Yeah, I think through the upskilling, reskilling, providing new competences come new opportunities. We can have more wonderful, brilliant minds working together, creating, being more creative. Just a quick reminder why we talk a lot about this mindset. in 1971, so it's very close, quite close, right? There was still one country in EU where women could not vote. Okay, I'm just gonna leave you to that.
Okay, Natasza.
Thank you so much for this question. So I have two thoughts here, quick ones. So number one, our goal is to attract diversity and diverse talents. And we know that Y generation, you mentioned Z generation, the other generation are looking for workplaces where diversity and inclusion are just normal, and they won't come to a place where inclusion is not promoted. So if you want to attract talents, really you should invest in it, because you won't have employees in the future. Second thought is that you asked about business benefits, but then business benefits come with high-performing teams, and high-performing teams are the ones that are guided in an inclusive way, because then simply people are happier, they have stronger sense of belonging, they have a higher quality of life, they are just more innovative, and they also are not willing to change your place of work, right? They're simply staying with you. And finally, because I really want to talk about men for a bit, like men who are in countries, but also in companies that are gender equality, diverse oriented, they are happier, they live longer. We have data showing that if men are living in countries that are traditionally oriented, they live 6 years shorter. So it's just like happier and healthier to be in a gender equality life. By the way, also have data about sexual life for women and men. They are better
God, this is
in the high gender equal countries.
the one. You are the one and the only now, you know. Okay.
I have also two thoughts. First, from my point of view, because I am young, and this is very important for young people, for Generation Z. Young people expect from potential employers gender equality. And secondly, I think that this is very important for companies, because when they have diversity issues, they can get new customers, and then they can get more and bigger profits.
Okay, so I will not repeat and sum up because I think the lunch is waiting for us, but I have very concrete proposal. Marek, yes, okay.
Just to compliment, because of course we have this, of course in the commission, just statistics in clusters. When we analyze the statistics in clusters, in cluster managers, so guess we have 10% women as cluster managers, 50% or 80% in all Europe. So this 1,500 that we have shown. How would you say?
67.
Okay, so the 35% of cluster managers are women. 65% are still men. So this is still we have a job to do.
So Marek, how you would like to change it? Do you have a plan?
This is for another session.
Okay, definitely. But I would like to also make a very concrete proposal after this panel, because the discussion was perfect. Thank you very much. But I would like to ask Mr. Krystowski, who is listening to us all the day, yesterday, maybe as a Klastry Polskie, we could organize a kind of training for a top manager of clusters, for clusters coordinators, so they include all those matters, and they will be a communication tube to the small medium enterprises. What do you think? So agreed. Thank you very much.
Fundusze europejskie w latach 2014-2020 to m.in. sukcesy polskich przedsiębiorców, wsparcie dla jednostek samorządu terytorialnego oraz dynamiczny rozwój ośrodków innowacji poprzez wydarzenia, szkolenia, finansowanie, edukację oraz wspieranie współpracy przedsiębiorstw. Lata 2014-2022 to 13 000 umów o dofinansowanie i 15,3 miliarda złotych przyznanego dofinansowania na terenie całej Polski. Nasi beneficjenci są bardzo pomysłowi. Wprowadzają na rynek np. innowacyjne dachowe wymienniki ciepła, dofinansowane z programu operacyjnego Polska Wschodnia. Skonstruowali innowacyjny szybowiec wyczynowy, dofinansowany z programu operacyjnego Inteligentny Rozwój. Wprowadzają też projekty doradcze, takie jak Sukcesja z sukcesem, dofinansowanie z programu operacyjnego Wiedza, Edukacja, Rozwój. Fundusze Europejskie 2021-2027 to nowa perspektywa finansowa. Jest ona kontynuacją programów z poprzedniej perspektywy i obejmuje Fundusze Europejskie dla Rozwoju Społecznego, Fundusze Europejskie dla Polski Wschodniej i Fundusze Europejskie dla Nowoczesnej Gospodarki. Fundusze Europejskie. Razem przed siebie!
Historia przemysłu to historia transformacji i napędzających ją wizjonerów. Oto śruba. Kiedyś musiał wykuć ją kowal, każdą z osobna. Setki i tysiące śrub. Nie było dwóch identycznych, więc w tamtym świecie każda maszyna była rękodziełem. Pięknym, ale mało efektywnym. Idea, że śruby można produkować maszynowo, narodziła się w głowie jednego człowieka. Standaryzacja części zamiennych rozpędziła rewolucję przemysłową. Bez standaryzacji nie byłoby przemysłu. Lampa naftowa, żarówka, nawet karabin maszynowy – to wszystko wynalazki pojedynczych geniuszy. W XIX wieku transformację przemysłową napędzali wizjonerzy. Nasi dziadkowie postrzegali przemysł z perspektywy linii montażowej. Praca rąk setek lub tysięcy ludzi, prosta optymalizacja i efekt skali tworzyły przemysłowe imperia. Komputeryzacja oraz automatyzacja zmieniły układ sił i sprawiły, że ludzie zaczęli pracować ramię w ramię z robotami, a wynalazczość przeniosła się do centrów R&D. Równocześnie dane stały się surowcem, takim jakim dotąd była ropa. Dziś niezwykle istotny jest elastyczny model produkcji, który pozwala szybko reagować na potrzeby klientów. Bez modernizacji parku maszynowego oraz infrastruktury ciężko jest utrzymać konkurencyjność na globalnym rynku. Zmienia się sposób myślenia o miejscu i roli pracowników, bo transformacja cyfrowa bardzo zależy od kompetencji oraz talentów ludzi. Wdrożenie rozwiązań przemysłu przyszłości wymaga szerokiego horyzontu i zdolności organizacyjnych. Przedsiębiorca XXI wieku musi wiedzieć, jak efektywnie i bez szkody dla środowiska wykorzystać zasoby, jak szkolić kadry i reagować w ciągle zmieniającym się otoczeniu biznesowym. Skorzystaj z wiedzy oraz doświadczenia ekspertów Platformy Przemysłu Przyszłości. Pomagamy w cyfrowej transformacji do przemysłu 4.0.
Planując ekspansję na nowych rynkach, potrzebujesz ekspertów, którzy pomogą Ci zminimalizować ryzyko. Potrzebujesz profesjonalistów, którzy od lat funkcjonują w lokalnej rzeczywistości i potrafią dotrzeć do właściwych osób. Skontaktuj się z nami. Polska Agencja Inwestycji i Handlu to stale rosnąca sieć biur na 6 kontynentach. Sprawdź, co możesz zyskać, bo sukces zaczyna się od informacji.
Cyfrowa platforma HR 4.0 to nowa usługa Klastra SAM, umożliwiająca przygotowanie i rozwój kompetencji kadr przyszłości, szczególnie w obszarze HR. Dostęp do bazy wiedzy. Wymianę dobrych praktyk ekspertów HR. Wsparcie pośrednictwa pracy i pozyskiwania talentów do organizacji. Współpracę biznes-edukacja. Skontaktuj się z nami w celu skorzystania z usługi. Film promocyjny dofinansowany ze środków Unii Europejskiej w ramach Europejskiego Funduszu Rozwoju Regionalnego.
MŚP Go Digital to nowa usługa Klastra SAM dedykowana małym i średnim firmom produkcyjnym, której celem jest wsparcie w procesach transformacji cyfrowej i wdrażania rozwiązań przemysłu 4.0. Usługa podzielona została na 2 obszary. Część demonstracyjno-szkoleniową realizowaną przy użyciu mobilnego Centrum Demonstracyjnego Przemysłu 4.0 oraz wirtualnej fabryki cyfrowe MŚP oraz część doradczo-konsultingową, w ramach której ekspert przy współpracy z odbiorcą usługi stworzy plan transformacji cyfrowej przedsiębiorstwa. Skontaktuj się z nami w celu skorzystania z usługi. Film promocyjny dofinansowany ze środków Unii Europejskiej w ramach Europejskiego Funduszu Rozwoju Regionalnego.
Lubuskie to region pełen możliwości. Tutaj możesz odpoczywać, uczyć się i rozwijać swoją karierę. Tutaj znajdziesz atrakcje turystyczne, znakomite uczelnie i nowatorskie szpitale. Tutaj spotkasz się z ludźmi, którzy mają wizję i pasję.
Wyobraź sobie, że oglądasz film w otoczeniu największych gwiazd Hollywood, a godzinę później jesteś w samym środku obrazu Van Gogha. Już po chwili popijasz cydr w urokliwym sadzie, planując dalszą podróż. Wieczorem jesteś pod największą tężnią solną w Europie i smakujesz piernika z miasta, w którym żył ten, co wstrzymał słońce i ruszył ziemię. Potrafisz to sobie wyobrazić? Nie musisz. Wszystko to znajdziesz w Kujawsko-Pomorskiem.
ARP i Vehicles to nowa, a jednocześnie mogąca poszczycić się dużymi osiągnięciami marka w grupie kapitałowej ARP. Powołana do życia przez Agencję Rozwoju Przemysłu w 2020 roku kontynuuje projekt produkcji pierwszego polskiego zeroemisyjnego autobusu, wcześniej realizowany przez Rafako. Inwestycja ARP wpisuje się w światowe trendy rozwoju elektromobilności i bezemisyjnego transportu.
ARP i Vehicles jest to projekt realizowany w ramach rządowej strategii odpowiedzialnego rozwoju. Jest to jeden z 2 przyjętych kierunków rozwoju elektromobilności w Polsce. My odpowiadamy za ten projekt związany z e-busem, czyli elektrycznymi autobusami, zeroemisyjnymi autobusami. To autobus, który jest przede wszystkim autobusem polskim. Od początku został on zaprojektowany przez wielu polskich inżynierów. Zaprojektowany z myślą o tym, żeby jak najwięcej podzespołów było właśnie produkcji polskiej. Dlatego ponad 60% komponentów właśnie jest produkcji i pochodzenia polskiego. Spółka nie jest spółką mającą tak wielką tradycję jak chociażby polski Autosan, ale jesteśmy spółką bardzo dynamicznie rozwijającą się, która z roku na rok zwiększa swoje przychody. Nie możemy narzekać na brak zamówień. Sukcesy na targach czy w Brukseli, czy podwójny sukces w Kielcach, czy Plovdiv, czy Saloniki, to wszystko spowodowało, że portfel zamówień mamy wypełniony maksymalnie.
We wrześniu 2020 roku Agencja Rozwoju Przemysłu sfinalizowała umowę zakupu od Rafako spółki celowej Rafako e-Bus. Tym samym przejęła kontrolę nad projektem konstrukcyjno-technologicznym polegającym na opracowaniu, homologacji i rozpoczęciu seryjnej produkcji innowacyjnego autobusu elektrycznego. Dzisiaj projekt ten jest rozwijany z powodzeniem przez spółkę ARP i Vehicles.
Produkowany przez nas autobus to jedno z najbardziej innowacyjnych osiągnięć polskiej inżynierii ostatnich lat. W jego konstrukcji wykorzystaliśmy pionierskie rozwiązanie polegające na umieszczeniu baterii nie na dachu, ale pod podłogą pojazdu. Dzięki temu istotnie obniżono środek ciężkości autobusu, co z kolei wpływa na stabilność toru jazdy, bezpieczeństwo i łatwość prowadzenia. Pomimo baterii pod podłogą, autobus jest całkowicie niskopodłogowy na całej długości oraz w pełni przystosowany do przewozu osób niepełnosprawnych na wózkach. Nasze autobusy są także wyposażone w innowacyjne silniki w nowoczesnej technologii PMSM, które gwarantują niezawodność i doskonałe osiągi, przyspieszenie, moc, sprawność oraz niezawodność autobusu.
Zielony transport to przyszłość komunikacji. Agencja Rozwoju Przemysłu aktywnie działa na rzecz rozwoju elektromobilności w Polsce. Wybiegamy myślą do przodu i już teraz dostrzegamy potencjał tego rynku, korzyści biznesowe, znaczenie dla ochrony środowiska i rozwoju innowacyjności polskiej gospodarki. Stąd nasze inwestycje w sektor elektromobilności, a ich wzorcowym przykładem jest powołana przez nas spółka ARP e-Vehicles.
Powstanie spółki ARP e-Vehicles doskonale wpisuje się w potrzeby polskiego transportu publicznego. W ostatnich latach coraz więcej samorządów przechodzi na niskoemisyjny transport publiczny, a od 2025 roku w miastach powyżej 100 tysięcy mieszkańców autobusy spalinowe zostaną zastąpione elektrycznymi. Trend niskoemisyjnej komunikacji publicznej przekłada się na wzrost zamówień realizowanych dla samorządów przez ARP e-Vehicles.
Agencja Rozwoju Przemysłu jest naszym 100% właścicielem, dzięki któremu mamy finansowanie na naszą produkcję. Naszymi klientami są głównie miasta, gminy, związki powiatowe, powiaty i spółki komunalne, które realizują transport na terenie miast i gmin. Wszyscy ci klienci wymieniają obecnie tabor spalinowy na nowoczesny, ekologiczny, elektryczny. Oprócz rynku polskiego jesteśmy zainteresowani rynkiem europejskim. W zeszłym roku pokazywaliśmy nasze auto na targach w Grecji, w Salonikach, gdzie spotkał się z bardzo dużym zainteresowaniem z uwagi na jego małe wymiary, które były bardzo dobre i bardzo dobrze się sprawdzały na greckich, wąskich ulicach.
Usprawnieniu produkcji sprzyja niedawna przeprowadzka firmy do bydgoskiego Parku Przemysłowo-Technologicznego, jednego z największych parków tego typu w Polsce. Dzięki temu spółka zyskała przestrzeń do rozbudowy działu produkcji, a także znakomity przyczółek do dalszej ekspansji.
ARP e-Vehicles to nie jest zwykła inwestycja. Jesteśmy dumni, że wspieramy projekt będący w pełni efektem polskiej myśli technologicznej i wytworem polskiego przemysłu. ARP e-Vehicles udowadnia, że polski kapitał i polska innowacyjność mają szansę konkurować jakością nawet na rynkach zagranicznych. Pierwszy polski autobus elektryczny produkowany w nowym bydgoskim zakładzie to także ważny krok w kierunku zrównoważonego rozwoju. Jest przyjazny nie tylko dla środowiska, ale przede wszystkim odpowiada lokalnym potrzebom. W Agencji Rozwoju Przemysłu chcemy, żeby zielony transport był łatwo dostępnym nie tylko w wielkich miastach, ale także w Polsce gminnej i powiatowej.
Wałbrzyska Specjalna Strefa Ekonomiczna Investpark to aż 3 województwa, 174 gminy i 29 powiatów. Od początku funkcjonowania siedzibą spółki jest Wałbrzych, drugie największe miasto na Dolnym Śląsku. Dolny Śląsk to jeden z najszybciej rozwijających się regionów w całej Europie. Zróżnicowana kulturowo i bogata przyrodniczo część kraju, której dynamiczny wzrost zapewniają branże automotive, logistyka, IT i nowe technologie. Południe Polski to także systematyczne inwestycje w infrastrukturę drogową i kolejową. Wielkopolskie. Lokacja najstarszych polskich miast. Region bogaty w złoża węgla brunatnego i gazu ziemnego. Ponad 3,5 miliona mieszkańców i prężnie działająca sieć instytucji otoczenia biznesu wspierają branżę spożywczą, chemiczną i budowlaną. Wielkopolską strefę gospodarczą wybrali liderzy rynku, w tym m.in. Volkswagen, Rawak, Dino i Flex Films. Opolskie. To zróżnicowany przemysł, wyjątkowa architektura i zabytkowe budownictwo. To region otwarty na innowacje i odnawialne źródła energii. Województwo napędza branża maszynowa i motoryzacyjna. To serce światowych potentatów. Mondelez, Mitsui High-Tech czy Umicore. Polska Strefa Inwestycji, w którą wpisuje się obszar zarządzany przez Wałbrzyską Specjalną Strefę Ekonomiczną, to pomoc publiczna, ulgi w podatku dochodowym i wsparcie dla inwestorów prywatnych. Intensywność pomocy publicznej na terenach zarządzanych przez Wałbrzyską Specjalną Strefę Ekonomiczną sięga od 20 do aż 60% w zależności od lokalizacji inwestycji. Investpark to jednak nie tylko przedsiębiorcy i miejsca pracy, ale także strategiczne przedsięwzięcia własne, w tym lokalne centra biznesu i hale przemysłowo-magazynowe w aż 6 atrakcyjnych lokalizacjach. Współpraca z nami to także kompleksowe doradztwo biznesowe, networking i wsparcie wymiany handlowej, nowoczesne centrum szkoleniowe, wspólna grupa zakupowa i inwestycje we wspólną przyszłość w ramach klastrów edukacyjnego, motoryzacyjnego i lotniczego. W Wałbrzyskiej Specjalnej Strefie Ekonomicznej bije serce najważniejszych światowych inwestycji. Investpark znajduje się na skrzyżowaniu strategicznych szlaków handlowych i komunikacyjnych. To najatrakcyjniejsza lokalizacja biznesowa wybierana zarówno przez polskich przedsiębiorców, jak i globalne marki. Strefa to optymalne położenie geopolityczne i lokalizacja atrakcyjna dla biznesu. To dogodne połączenia drogami ekspresowymi, rozbudowany system linii kolejowych i dostępność do międzynarodowych portów lotniczych. Wałbrzyska Specjalna Strefa Ekonomiczna. Od 25 lat wspólnie rozwijamy gospodarkę Polski i regionu.
Od ponad 30 lat edukujemy i wspieramy przedsięwzięcia ekologiczne na rzecz zielonej transformacji. Jesteśmy pełni zielonej energii i podajemy ją dalej. Naszym klientom dostarczamy nowoczesne rozwiązania finansowe oraz oferujemy doradztwo ekspertów. Zapewniamy narzędzia, by skutecznie mierzyć się z wyzwaniami klimatycznymi poprzez redukcję zużycia zasobów naturalnych czy wzrost zastosowania odnawialnych źródeł energii. Kredytowaliśmy dziesiątki tysięcy inwestycji proekologicznych o wartości powyżej 52 miliardów złotych. Projekty społeczne realizujemy poprzez programy Fundacji BOŚ oraz przy zaangażowaniu naszych pracowników w roli wolontariuszy. Dobra energia wraca, zielona także. Otrzymany w 2021 roku rating ESG plasuje nas w gronie 18% najlepiej ocenianych banków na świecie. Nasz zapał do zielonej transformacji nie maleje. Nieustannie szukamy nowych dróg rozwoju. Inwestujemy w zieloną przyszłość.